Good morning, dear colleagues. Now let me tell you about those activities which are planned, still being planned by the Russian Federal Employment Services in terms of developing our online portal, which is called Job in Russia. Let's call it this way. This is a job portal, but a public one. So there are several inputs, key principles as a background for this system. First of all, we need to enhance the labor mobility of the population, and as I know, this question has already been discussed yesterday. Again, I want to repeat that labor mobility in the Russian Federation is an extremely important topic today. The Rostrud is closely monitoring the labor migration in Russia now, and there are leaders in these indicators, like some of the regions which have the number of the ratio of job openings to one job seeker over 13, and there are other regions with the ratio of job openings per job seeker less than 0.1. So it's extremely important and relevant to ensure the migration mechanisms so that the job seekers from the distressed regions could move to other regions where the number of job openings is high. Considering the current limitations in terms of labor mobility, first of all, the first limitation is the information. The current practice is that most of the job portals focus, and their main catchment area is the Moscow and St. Petersburg. Most of them are commercial portals, fee-based portals, and over 70% of all the users are users from Moscow and St. Petersburg. Same ratio is true for the job openings posted there. In each region of Russia, there's a local regional job portal which publishes job openings for this particular region. And the regional PSs, they work mainly with the database of the regional job openings, and we haven't yet managed to set up a nationwide database of job openings and job seekers. And another limiting factor is that there is no job portal or an online service yet that would allow a job seeker to find a employment match in another region where he or she could relocate, seek an employment. According to our statistics, almost 66% of people working away from their home region, they work in Moscow and the Moscow region. That is why we decided to change this trend and set up an online service, online portal based on the one-stop shop principle, with one single database of job openings and job seekers. Next key feature of this portal is the user friendliness and accessibility and convenience. And the third feature is additional information and background on the regions. for the job seekers to make an informed decision on relocation. A few figures about the first version of this portal, Job in Russia, and in some respects those results that we have achieved are quite impressive. So we have already published over 2,100,000 job openings. They are all still open, they are all relevant, and they are continuously updated. About 140,000 employees have registered with this portal. On the one hand, it may seem that this is an impressive number, but on the other hand, the total number of legal entities in Russia is about 4 million, so there's still a lot of room for improvement. Besides, on the portal we have published about 20,000 CVs submitted by the job seekers, and currently you can either upload your own CV or import CV from one of the popular job portals, commercial job portals. Here you can see the user interface of the portal as it is now. It has all the key functions that one may need to find a job, directories, and you may retrieve information and sort the information by region, by the type of employment, either full-time or part-time. And here the databases contain information on the job seekers and on the employers, and all this data has been verified by the employment service organizations. So all the information has been officially verified, and we have zeroed down the risk of fraud that is still existent on commercial portals. And on the other hand, that's the big disadvantage of this portal, because the portal basically can be used either by or through PES. So before you can use this portal, you have to go to a PES service locally and bring quite a few papers to sign there. That is why we have so few users here, only 22,000, whereas on nationwide commercial portals the number of users starts from 300,000. And again, the bigger drawback of this portal is that first you have to file some papers physically in hard copy to the PES office. As for the main approaches to designing this website, they can be divided into 3 blocks: information, facilitation, and search. Information block contains all the information on the legal documents and facilitation, and some additional documents, job orientation, some labor market advised and tailored career advised for the job seekers, for the clients. And the search, well, that's search and matching. Here we list services that the employers and the job seekers may avail of on this portal. Some of them will be implemented this year, some will be implemented next year. They can all be divided into 3 blocks, into 3 groups. First of all, finalizing the design of this portal to make it convenient and user-friendly, then changing the procedure and regulation for working with this portal so that one could deal with it without even visiting PS office. And a third block is additional information for those who are willing to relocate. One of the features that we plan to introduce is the regional attractiveness ranking, and it will include a description of the job opening, some macroeconomic and social indicators for this or that region, for example, climate, environment, crime rate, all the things that people bear in mind before they make a decision to relocate, and the information on the social infrastructure. Russia is a huge country. That's why it's very difficult for people to relocate, because they really don't know what this or that region is like. They don't know whether they will be able to find housing, to rent an apartment, to find a school for their children. And we plan to provide all this information on the website after we have integrated the IT systems from other public agencies. And in the end, each individual user will have such a ranking based on his priorities. And in each region, he will be able to highlight the social infrastructure institutions that he's interested in, like schools, kindergartens, and so on. And all this information will be imported from other public agencies, like the Ministry of Healthcare will tell us about the hospitals, Ministry of Education will tell us about the schools and kindergartens, and so on.
One important thing is interaction between the employer and the job seekers. Communication, which is supposed to be digitalized right now, as I mentioned, this is carried out mainly on paper through employment centers, where data are inputted into the systems from the paper. We would like to make it easier to use and more attractive for employers in order to raise the profile of our job portal and increase both the number of openings and job seekers. For that reason, we are planning to use the digital signature in order to identify the employer, and a number of other measures that we want to implement to reduce the risk of fraud. Apart from that, we are planning to implement a number of services to enhance mobility and employment, in particular interactions with commercial job placement agencies, continuing development, and voluntary job insurance. This is what I wanted to tell you today. Thank you for your attention.